What's going on, guys? Little quick video. This is like a quick 5-minute version of Freight Broker Live because, well, I'm a little bit under the weather. I drove down to Tennessee. I was supposed to be in Tennessee until yesterday, I believe. Yeah, what's today? Thursday? I don't even know. But I ended up leaving on Tuesday because you know how I am. I just like to, just be in the mix, right? So I wanted to go down to Tennessee. It was my idea. They're like, you don't have to come. And I was like, nah, I'll come down. And I got the laptop and all that good stuff. So, and then I was ready to come home. So I was like, I'll go home. I'm super productive here, And so I drove back on Tuesday. Got back Tuesday night in time to see my son's football game. They lost again, 44-16. But they actually scored 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. So, which was pretty rad to see because that's the most points they've scored all season. Yeah. They're having a rough time. But the last 2 touchdowns were scored when I was there, so which was cool because it was 44-0 when I first got there. So I got to see my son play. He's got one more game left, which is next week, and then he's done with football. So which is sad because he likes it. I'm sure my wife is going to be happy about that because I wonder what she's going to do though. Like, is my son going to stay in the aftercare program? I don't know. That's something we didn't talk about. We should have probably figured that out. Because why are we going to keep paying for that if she could just bring him home? I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. What else? Metalark Transport out of Billings, Montana, I believe it was. They've been around for like 30 years. Trucking company and a brokerage. Now, many people on the brokerage side, or many people on social media have heard the brokerage side. The brokerage side has been in hot water for the past couple of months. Since about May, that's when factoring companies started pulling their credit and saying you can't work with them because they were just not paying invoices. Slowly but surely, it seems that bad financial status ended up carrying over to their asset-based side. And it's been widely reported today that Metalark is, as a whole, the 3PL is done. Now, they have just over 300 trucks, I believe, 40 terminals across the United States. Probably a lot of assets as well. Now, when you look at from a bigger picture, that's about the 4th or 5th trucking company that's gone under in the past month, I'd say, that have over 200 trucks each. So it's a telling sign. Like, are we going to start going heavy as rates are probably not going to increase much if they haven't already? I mean, maybe the next month they'll increase until Thanksgiving, but then they're going to dive down again. And then if we do have a strong fall or, the Christmas holiday season, if we have a strong one, but it's not strong like it should be, and fuel keeps rising with whatever's going on in Israel and this war, and if the Middle East or Middle Eastern Arab countries started to get involved, because Hamas did a big terrorist attack and killed, I think it's almost 2,000 people, 2,000 Jewish people in Israel. So now Israel's bombing them. And then you have Lebanon and all these people, and it could be interesting from a supply chain standpoint to see what happens if, Lindsey Graham has his way and they start blowing up all the Iranian oil fields and things like that. Because Iran was obviously behind the attack. I think I can say that confidently. And so we're going to have to wait and see how that's going to affect supply chain. Because ultimately, if fuel prices go up, guess what? That means you're going to pay more at the pump. That means you're going to pay more at the store as well. Because obviously that price, the increased cost has to be made up somewhere. There's no room, and I can say that with confidence. There is no room whatsoever for truckers to take any loss. Or to take any less money than what they're currently making. So the only people that can eat that loss are the consumers in all reality. And I'm not an economist or anything. That's just what I believe. At something's got to give. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with that one. But it is kind of frightening with so many trucking companies going under. Another thing that I wanted to talk about real quick, and this is literally going to be a very quick show, but I wanted to do it very quickly and tell you, is I saw this comment the other day or on Twitter, I think today, by one of the FreightX, hashtag FreightX people on Twitter. And they were commenting about whether or not a lot of people are having success booking freight through these online platforms like Uber or JB Hunt or Schneider or Coyote, or there's so many of them, CH Robinson. They all have these online portals now where they have internal load boards where you could bid directly. You could either accept the load at a book it now price, or you could bid on the load directly through. Now, I don't do any of the reverse auction ones where you see where other people are bidding, because I just think that's stupid. And I have no interest in bidding against other carriers when I'm trying to get a load. And again, it's a different capacity now because I'm working as a carrier, not as a broker. So, but someone was curious about how many people are actually booking loads versus having, the old-fashioned way where you're calling a broker and negotiating over the phone. And I can honestly say the majority of the loads that I've booked have been through these types of portals. Now, granted, I am doing negotiations and stuff through their, counteroffer, systems on pretty much every platform. I think there's been 3 loads that I accepted in total because I built a run. So it was a round trip load going, I forgot where. I think it was Georgia to Florida to Texas back to Florida. And it was good money, well over $2 a mile, or just over $2 a mile a run. The driver was happy. With the lane, it keeps them busy, and it got to them to that threshold of where they needed to be. Plus, being able to submit the invoices in order to get paid on, earlier. So they were happy about it. But outside of those 3 loads, I don't think I've accepted a book it now load on any of these loads. I've accepted counter offers from brokers when I went high, but I think that these platforms are going to be the way of the future. Although I do wish that the platforms were built in such a way that everybody was able to integrate with them. So instead of us having to have 70 logins to get into each one of these accounts, that it was one central load board where you could in real time talk to the brokers that have that freight out there, and kind of automate some of the processes, in terms of loads and stuff. And there are ways to make it happen. And there are softwares that kind of do that, but they're kind of like invite only, so they're not generally public, which is interesting. But I think DAT, which is the major truck load board, I think DAT. Oh, okay, that's the new driver. DAT and Truck Stop. I think they both have some book it now functionality built into them, but I've never used it on those platforms, nor do I think I would. But on some of the other platforms, I think it's advantageous to use. And almost every major broker now has their own portal, and they have loads that are not even touching DAT. I ran a test today, and I was comparing loads that were in one of these mega brokers' systems versus what they have posted on DAT. And I think I found like 50% of the loads that I surveyed, which was about 50% of the loads were posted on the load boards. The other ones were available on their portal and were not available on the load board. So it's interesting. And they have all different, different modes. They have drive and reefer, flatbed, power only. They have everything on there. So it is kind of interesting to see just how far freight tech can go in 2 years. You know what I mean? Because it's quite impressive. 2 years ago, there was like 3 or 4 portals. There weren't as many, and they certainly weren't as advanced as they are currently, which is kind of interesting. So, at least to me, obviously you could tell. I think I already talked about it, but I'll say it again. I've got something going on with my eye, like a sty or something. Oh my God, it's a pain level of 105 right now, so it hurts a lot. So that's going to do it for this show. I'm just going to go lay down and kind of rest my eye. I don't think staring at 3 monitors all day is helping my eye, considering I got to put a hot compress on it every 20 minutes because the pain level goes to like a 15 out of 10. So I'm just going to go lay down and try to see if that makes it feel better, because I got trucks to dispatch in the morning. So count down 21 days till your favorite freight broker's back freight brokering again. So I'm very excited about that too. So, yeah, but things are good. This is just your little update for the day. I hope to see all of you guys tomorrow. Hopefully my face is doing better so I can do a live stream and be happy with it. But I wanted to give you guys a quick little update on what's going on in the life of me. Until next time, we'll see you.